Hello everyone, Bob here. Today we're going to talk about 1997's Scream 2. I realize it's been a while since I talked about the first one, and since I'm getting into my horror swing, I wanted to go ahead and cover the rest of the franchise. So I'm going to hit Scream 2 today. Sometime next week I'll hit Scream 3, and then later on down the road I'll hit Scream 4. Scream 2 came out in 1997. It was directed by Wes Craven again, and it was written by Kevin Williamson, same guy that wrote the first one. The first scene of the movie follows this couple that's going to a movie called Stab, which is a movie based on the real life events of the first movie, and that is one of the wildest footages, I guess, of a premiere I've ever seen. I've never been to a premiere like that. Maybe they actually happen, but I always thought that was kind of interesting because I've never been to a movie premiere that's been quite like that. But anyway, long story short, they're handing out at the theater. They're handing out the ghost-faced mask as a promotion, and a new killer kills that couple. He kills the guy when he goes to the bathroom, and then he kills the girl when he comes back. And everyone at first thinks it's, of course, a publicity stunt, which it isn't, but they don't realize it until she drops up on the stage. Flash forward, we find Sidney Prescott. This is, I believe it's a year later in this. She is at Windsor College, and of course, she gets a prank call at the beginning of the film. Someone trying to prank her, pretending like they're Ghostface, and of course, it's she has caller ID now, so she has a little bit of fun back. But she finds out that they're about the murders the night before. She goes to talk to Randy, who is the movie nerd from the first one. He's also attending college there. And, of course, Gale Weathers comes to cover the story. And, of course, there's some friction there because she wrote the book about the events of the first movie, and Sidney didn't necessarily like it. Dewey shows up to help, so we've got the whole cast back together. The film also has several cameos. Of course, Sarah Michelle Gellar, who everyone knows as Buffy, is in this film. David Warner, who is... horror fans may recognize him from the original Omen movie. He's in this. The sheriff in this movie is actually Louis Arquette, which is David Arquette, who plays Dewey. It's his dad. Ghostface kills 8 in this movie. Now, I'm not going to attribute which the two Ghostface killers. One of them is Mickey Altabelli, I think is how you say his last name. And the other one is Debbie Loomis, who is Billy Loomis. If you remember the killer from the first film, it's his mother. She is the other killer and the mastermind behind the whole thing this time around. Those two get killed. Those are in addition to the 8 that Ghostface kills. So this edition of Ghostface does kill more than the Ghostface's kill total in the original. Okay, so my thoughts on Scream 2. As a whole, I don't like Scream 2 nearly as well as I like the original. I'll probably catch some flack, but I think it is the weakest of the 4 Scream films. It does have its good spots. I like all the references to other movies. Randy's character's just as funny in this one as it was in the original. Was sorry to see his character get killed off, but stuff like that has to happen in a horror movie to keep it going. I get that. The music, it was funny what they tried to do with some of the music in this one, because some of the music that accompanied, like Dewey, it almost had kind of a westerny feel, kind of a, gunslinger sheriff type feel to it. There are parts of the musical score in this film that are definitely Scream. You can definitely tell it's from the same franchise and that has the same feel to it, but it's been tweaked a little bit, and I don't like it quite as well as I like the original. Personal taste, probably. But I know a lot of people like this one a lot better than 3, and because 3's, but we'll talk about 3 later. But for me, it just I didn't necessarily care for it as much. It's still a good movie. It's still a solid. If you watch watching it, the trilogy as a whole still makes a very solid. This is still very solid. And you should still watch them in a row if you're trying to sit down and watch them. It does have its tenseful moments. For instance, the part when Sydney and her roommate are in the car, in a police car, and Ghostface kills him, and they have to crawl after Ghostface gets knocked unconscious. They have to crawl across the top of him. That's very suspenseful. The angle with bringing in the Cotton Weary character, trying to get it on TV was original, and of course it fit with all those TV shows at the time in the 90s. How they had those daytime talk shows and everything. That very much fit with that. But final rating out of this one, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. I know a lot of people are going to say that's crazy to give it that low of a rating. But I just didn't care for this one near as much as I did the other. It's got its clever moments, just like how they are watching on the screen. They're watching a movie-ized reenactment of the Casey Becker death at the beginning. And, of course, when Dewey and Randy are sitting there talking in the food court, they have the TV on. They show a clip from Stab, and it's a couple of the actors, which interestingly enough is the one that Sidney Jokes figured that they'd cast in her spot, Tori Spelling, and I think Luke Wilson was the other one. But they're reenacting the scene in the school where Billy and Sidney run into each other and have their little talk. And I always found that kind of funny. But it's still a good movie. It's still fun to watch. I don't like it near as well as I like the first one, but a lot of people are different. That's part of what makes the world go around. But I like the first one, and the third one are, in my opinion, the two best in this franchise. And this one isn't quite as good. I recently rewatched this franchise with my wife, and she agreed with me, so I didn't feel totally off the wall on that. That's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, please like and subscribe to this channel. I try to have new content daily. It doesn't always work that way, but that's my goal. Follow me on Facebook or Twitter. I try to have updates on there. Just search for Bob the Film Guy. That's where you find me. And for now, be safe, everyone. And this is Bob signing off.